back to The Cinnamon Effect. I'm Kimberly Hand, and today in the studio, I have Samantha Monus. Samantha Monus is a highly dedicated fitness and wellness professional who is passionate about empowering individuals to achieve their health and wellness goals. With over 25 years of experience in the industry, Samantha brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to her work. Throughout her career, Samantha has made significant contributions to the fitness world. She has not only choreographed various fitness routines, but has also been featured in Elle Magazine's Complete Cardio, a fitness DVD that received the prestigious Telly Award. Additionally, Samantha served as the lead fitness and wellness expert for Venus Williams' 11 Fitness Journeys campaign. Her expertise has been showcased in Beachbody's Brazil butt lift workout and several of Beachbody's infomercials. Samantha's impressive clientele includes top athletes, celebrities, and world-renowned CEOs whom she consults and works with to help them achieve their fitness and wellness goals. Driven by her passion for natural health, Samantha has made it the cornerstone of her practice and e-commerce website. As a mother, she has become even more influenced by the importance of preventative, holistic healthcare, further fueling her mission to inspire others to prioritize their well-being. Samantha Monus.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hey. Oh my gosh. So excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
And I'm so lucky to call you a friend.
Me too.
Of all of those amazing things that I just said about you, you are an amazing friend. And so I'm so happy to have you here and to expose you to my audience.
Love it. I love the cinnamon effect.
You have been such a big supporter of me in my life over the last 8 years. And, you know, no matter what phase I was in, I feel like you met me where I was. And, you know, now in this new phase of podcasting, you're like, I've listened to all the episodes. And so it really means a lot to me. And I just want to tell you that.
Well, thank you. And I'm so glad that you're bringing such an awareness to health and wellness. Like, it's growing and people have got to learn. So I think it's wonderful.
Yes. And you, my lady, were, 8 years ago when we became friends. So a little backstory is that my husband went to college with Sam and has known Sam a long time. Back in the crazy
Feels like
FSU
yesterday.
days. Yeah. But when I first saw Sam, I first saw you at a party, and I was actually baby wearing my son at the party, which was very interesting. He was the only child there. And then I saw you one more time, and you were wearing gold jazz shoes on your feet. Long story, but you had gold jazz shoes on. And I was like, I need to know this woman. I need to know her. You have like a light about you. And I was like, I want to be her friend. Right. And then my husband kind of arranged for us to get together, and it's been like magic ever since.
Magic ever since. I love it.
But you were one of the first people you were the first person that I ever heard talking about. I mean, we could just run down the list, but like parasites and colloidal silver and
Parasites, my favorite topic. Worms.
Yeah. Do we start at worms? I mean, I don't know. You were talking about cleansing, though, parasite cleansing, like way before anybody else. I mean, now it was trendy on social media, but you were talking about this, and I remember thinking, like, this is wild, you know? And you were like, there are definitely worms in your poop. And I was like, oh my God. Are you sure? God. I have worms too. You're like, everyone has worms, Kimberly.
Everybody has worms.
Yeah. How did that become like something that you were into?
Okay, let's talk about that. So our bodies are complex beings, and they're filled with microorganisms, and sometimes it gets out of balance. And we eat a lot of foods that have parasites. And once our ecosystem in our gut, the acidity changes, it's an environment where they can grow. So if you eat tuna tartare or rare steaks or dirty salads, you're most likely going to pick up a parasite, and sushi is one of the worst places to get parasites. So what happens is they create a lot of dysbiosis in the gut. They create autoimmune disease. They create a host of problems. And a lot of the times people struggle with weight loss, and that's where I kind of tie in the fitness thing, because a lot of my clients will hit a plateau. They'll be eating all the right things, exercising, but they've never done a systemic cleanse. And I highly always recommend a parasite cleanse. Mm-hmm. It reduces appetite, it helps your bowel movements, it takes bloating away, and it just creates such a great internal environment for health.
Yeah.
So everybody should deworm. You deworm your dogs.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know why we totally forget about our systems.
Yeah.
And I just think it's not everybody is ready for a heavy parasite cleanse. Like Symbiotica has a Para X one that's just gentle and it's a great starter. And, you know, it's something you can do for months at a time to kind of keep the parasites at bay. But I like a full parasite cleanse where you flush the liver and gallbladder too and kind of reset the whole system.
Oh, yeah. That liver gallbladder flush is no joke.
Yes.
And you think you don't have liver or gallbladder stones, but you do.
Yes.
I can promise you do.
And here's the thing about the liver and the gallbladder. The liver is our only fat metabolizing organ. It's the sponge of the body. It gets clogged. And my biggest thing is like, oh, you don't need to detox. The body detoxes itself. That's not true. We have gallstones. We have kidney stones. We've got a host of issues that your body cannot handle. People are drinking Diet Cokes and eating processed foods, potatoes with glyphosate. I mean, the liver can only take so much. So you want to clean out. I always use the analogy of detailing a car. You don't want to detail a car without washing it first. So the parasite cleanse is washing the internal environment. And then, you know, we detail it by flushing out the liver and gallbladder and just watch your body just optimize like you've never seen. You're clearer, you're sharper, you feel so good. But it doesn't end there. I mean, this is something in Chinese medicine you do every spring. That's when you detox the liver. But I think it's really important to do it maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
Depending on how much sushi.
Yeah.
Hopefully none because of the metals, but.
Yeah, literally I have not been able to eat. Actually, I think after my first parasite cleanse, I did eat sushi and you were like, what are you doing?
Never,
I think
never.
You shamed me a little bit
Totally.
about it.
I'm Asian. You ate it. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't eat sushi anymore. And I think people are like, they're taken off guard about that. You know, even my husband though, a big sushi eater and now like can't bring himself to do it.
No, and forget the parasites, the metals. Metals.
Yeah. The heavy metal. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they love that environment together. Candida, parasites and heavy metals, they love to hang out together. It's just like a perfect ecosystem for them to thrive. And we want to reduce that load and heavy burden on the body so we can optimize our health. And going back to the fitness component, if you really want to see less lymphatic sludge, like, you know, it's truth. A lot of people come to me for vanity reasons.
Yeah.
They want to get slim. Let's just be real here. Like, not everyone's into the detox. That's probably the more graduated, you know, client.
Yeah. Maybe not everyone's ready for that. Yeah.
And then once they start to understand and do mini detoxes, like I feel pretty good. And once they do that parasite cleanse and liver flush, they never go back.
Yeah.
They never go back. They come to me every year.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've got to do it. I haven't done it this year and I'm like, I really have to do this.
No, it makes a difference. It just makes your body optimize in a healthy microbiome. And again, there's other things that go into a microbiome, but I'm just saying one section that I think is probably overlooked is the parasites. Mm-hmm. And I mean, my clients, the worms that come out in the pictures that I've seen, it's just unreal.
I love that you request pictures first of all, and then people will actually send them to you.
Yes, I don't want to touch their phone when they're hitting. I go, did you wash your hands?
I never want to send. I don't know that I'll ever send you a picture of my poop. Maybe. I mean,
earthworms have come out of people. It's my client. Well, she was a horsewoman, you know, and dealing with horses. Like, we deworm our horses all the time. I don't get why we don't do us. And she did a baby parasite cleanse, and she goes, I didn't have any worms come out. I go, that's a gentle one. That's like a starter, so you don't have a Herxheimer effect. So Herxheimer's effect when you kind of feel worse before you feel better. Mm-hmm. But anyways, then she graduated to a heavier cleanse, and she's like, a rubber band ball of worms came out. Oh, just like, I told you, I could tell by your gut. Because if you're eating perfect, okay, and it's funny, if you're eating perfect and you've eliminated most of the allergens in your diet, and you just have bloating and constipation or intermittent diarrhea, this is something you should check. And a stool test does not always come back, because by the time it gets shipped in the mail, the parasites die. And the thing is, you're not taking something to make the parasites go out. They're hiding up in there. There's no herb to make them like come out. Yeah. They like hide in your organs, right?
Yes. I mean, it's so disgusting.
I mean, and there's worms that are in your bloodstream. I'm just talking about intestinal worms.
Yeah. But that's what I love about you, is that it's not just I say just fitness. I mean, you're so talented in the fitness industry, but it's like this whole package of wellness knowledge, and you're always pushing, I think, your people to be better and better.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You always want to see progress.
The best of the best.
The best of the best. That's right.
Yes.
And any of your clients, I feel like that I've met prior, they're like, oh yeah, Sam will tell me if I look like I've gained 5 pounds, or if I've come back from vacation and I've eaten things I shouldn't eat, like she'll let me know. And it's in like with the most love.
Yeah. It's with love.
It's with love. And it's to push you to be the best version of yourself.
And I want to be honest with my clients.
Yeah.
Like, if we're trying to get better, we have to know our benchmarks.
Yeah.
You know, and where we're at. And like I'm circling back to the weight loss. I think everybody's very weight loss motivated. Mm-hmm. And once they start to see that their weight loss is maybe an accumulation of toxins and not just exercise. And I love exercise. That's what I do for a living, but it's not just the exercise. Mm-hmm. That's why it breaks my heart when people kill themselves on the treadmill in the gym and the fasting, and there's just so much more going on underneath the hood.
Yeah.
And those are all great things. I'm not taking that away, but we having to look at other roads that are causing this inflammation, and whether it's toxins from sushi or food, but mental toxins, you know, and every individual is so different.
Yeah.
You know, and so each one of my clients, we have to address it separately.
Yeah.
Nobody's the same. I mean, nobody, husband and wife, sister and sister, best friends, nobody's the same.
I also love that you talk a lot about vitality and life force and chi. So chi being energy in Chinese medicine. Talk a little bit about that. And what do you like? I know you say like with the cardio, like don't do so much cardio. It's like draining. Like you don't want to do things that drain your life force, right?
Okay. All right. Without getting overly galactic.
Yeah.
That can mean a lot
you
of
are
things.
super galactic.
And
yeah.
I just want to kind of keep it in the parameters which the audience would really understand. So chi is life force. We all have it. All right. It's in yoga, they call it prana, life force, you know, the breath. And each person runs at a different level, right? So say I have client A who's just completely overstressed, working type A, no sleep, living off caffeine. I don't think a heavy cardio session is going to really benefit their chi. It's not going to elevate and balance them. Sometimes that client might need more yin practices. Okay, so yang is high energy, yin is more relaxing. So the yin, people say yin and yang, but it's yin and yang.
Yeah.
So it would not benefit that person to kill themselves in the gym and do more type A yang activities. You know, you need to balance your body, for instance, and the weight will come off. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I know that firsthand because when I was struggling, and I think I talked about this on another podcast of mine, but when I was really struggling and I had a miscarriage and gained a bunch of weight, and you know, I felt like I remember I was in Utah and I wasn't with you, and I was trying to do like this crazy cardio and stuff. And I was like, I am not losing not a pound. And then I saw you and you were like, we've got to just like take it easy. You know, we got to take it down a notch. You would think like someone in the fitness industry would be like, no, you got to push it. And it was like, no, we cannot push this. We have to just be gentle. And that's when actually I was working out the least amount and doing just very relaxing type workouts. We incorporated some yoga. We did some other things. And it was like, okay, now it's starting to shift.
Yes, because you're balancing. So when people go to acupuncture, maybe they think they're going for this, maybe they think they're going for that. But actually, an acupuncturist just balances the chi out. If one thing is high, it's going to try to bring it down. If one thing is low, it's going to try to bring it up. And I believe exercise and fitness and diet should be the same way. There are seasons in your body when you need to take more recovery, more rest. That's why I love these wearables where it's actually teaching people, hey, you need a rest day, because these type A crazy, like gotta, which I have been. I'm not. I've done that. I've been an exerciseaholic, and I realize you have diminishing gains, and you're just creating so much cortisol, so much stress in your body that you're just constantly inflamed and tired, and your metabolism's the last thing to budge.
Yeah.
I mean, And vitality shows in someone's face. There's nothing worse than a strung out looking person. I don't care if you're at the perfect weight, you look like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that because
Parasites.
We don't want to look like shit. No, but I also, remember, I just want you to know, like, all these things that you've said to me over the years have really stuck with me. It's like, the intense cardio, like on your skin, like it's not good.
Hey,
right?
girls after 40, don't do it.
Don't do
Collagen loss.
Yeah. So talk about that. Like, no bouncing? Like, what are we talking about?
So again, it's the balancing yin and yang. And I'm not saying stop doing cardio.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is excessive laziness,
Yes.
excessive type A. You've got to have a balance, and you have to start going inside and knowing what's right for me. And maybe you need a higher professional to help you. I mean, not everybody has an internal gauge. I mean, I was in my ego, and I'm not saying I'm not out of my ego, but for a long time, I was in the fitness modeling industry, and you have to look a certain way. Mm-hmm. And if I knew what I knew now 20 years ago, God, would have been easier to get ready for a shoot. I would, and I remember the makeup artist being like, her skin is terrible, not to me, but other girls who were starving themselves, and I could see myself going down that route. I'm like, it's so easy to get in that trap.
Yes.
And if we knew how to, whether you hire someone to use a wearable, it's just to get a gauge of like, where am I getting a nice heart rate variability? Where am I getting the right rest? Where am I starting to feel natural energy when I wake up? Like, these are very important things that would dictate your exercise and productivity levels for the next workout.
Yeah.
And you want to eat sustainably to provide that chi for your body. And again, each person's different. Not two people are going to thrive on the same diet. Mm-hmm. That's where I get a little frustrated with these diets, mm-hmm. where people are so far vegan or they're so far carnivore. It's the individual. Mm-hmm. And I know people are loving just sharing their journey and their success, mm-hmm. but there's not a one-size-fits-all model, especially when it comes to chi. Like, if you're low and depleted, you don't want to deplete yourself more.
Yeah. Do you think that's where kind of social media has maybe become dangerous, is that there's so much information out there? So someone says, oh, well, Sally looks fantastic, and I'm going to do what Sally's doing. Yeah. It's like to the T, right? Yeah. Instead of like taking into account their own individual needs.
Yeah.
Or if it works for the lifestyle.
Maybe not, because I think there's so much good on social media.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are like, I just think that a lot of people are sharing their balance techniques, and there's a lot of holistic healthcare practitioners really educating people. And I think that's really the wave of the future now. People are really starting to shift. Yeah. And that's like the whole podcast, what your podcast is about. People are starting to wake up, and all these wonderful, wonderful people are sharing their knowledge. And I think the social media can really help spread the good message.
Yeah. You have to curate your own feed, though.
Yes.
And I know that you've talked about that a lot, too, is like you've curated your own social media feed to be very galactic.
Oh, positive vibes only.
Positive vibes only. And if it's not, like,
no, you have to elevate me when you're out.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't want any nonsense.
Yeah.
No.
You are no nonsense.
No nonsense.
No nonsense girl, that's for sure. What about, like, okay, so we had just recently ear infection in my house and colloidal silver.
Yes.
We avoided antibiotics by using colloidal silver drops in the ear.
I think
I know you've been using this a long time, and now it's becoming again more, but you've been doing this forever.
Yes. So let's talk about the benefits of colloidal silver. Yeah. Everybody, you should have it in your medicine cabinet, especially when you travel. I mean, they make travel sizes because you know how viruses get in the body, and then you swish your mouth out, gargle it, and spit it out when you get off a plane. It is such a prophylactic, safe product that's antimicrobial, and it has multifaceted uses. You could, if you had a pink eye, you could wash your eye out with it. It's totally safe. A sty. Girls, if you ever have a vaginal infection, you could douche with it, and it could really help clear your infection very safely and quickly. And if you have a sore throat, gargle with it. It's a super product, and I think it would and it doesn't disrupt the microbiome.
Yeah, like antibiotics do.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like my first line of defense. And actually we had a sty, almost like a sty coming on my son, and I did like a compress with the colloidal silver and boom, vanished. Like,
Yes.
amazing.
So plastic surgeons use it in their office. They make a medical grade silver for burns, and like people have been in like where their skin has been pulled off, like a motorcycle accident, because it keeps infection. It keeps the wound really clean and it helps to heal the wound faster. I love it. I think it's a super product. I think everyone should have in their house. Use it responsibly. Don't go crazy on it.
Yeah. Cause there are, drawbacks to that. Do your research, obviously, but
And I don't recommend you make your own at home.
Oh, really?
Please don't do that,
would do
people.
that? Yeah.
People do it. Don't do it.
I wouldn't even know the first thing about,
Yeah, because you don't know how many
parts
parts per million you're getting in. You want to know the safety, the sterility. You want to make sure you're doing it right. So I think that you need to buy it from a verified source.
Yeah, for sure. What are some other things? I also want to backtrack. I want to talk about, let's talk about other things that you would keep in your like wellness toolbox.
Okay. I really love oregano oil.
Oh yeah. Now that is something I've used as well. And just at the hint, like you tell me how you use it, but like at the hint of something is off balance, I take that.
Yes.
And
The
sometimes,
hint.
yeah.
The minute you feel a tickle, you take it and it doesn't develop into a full-blown cold.
Yeah.
I really am a big fan. So you could hit it at every angle. Like you could take the oregano oil immediately, right? And then 2 hours later, squirt some silver up your nose just to really whack out that virus.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So 3 great things
Those
to have in your wellness.
amazing. And your travel kit. I don't know how many
travel
times
kit.
I've traveled and one of my friends have gotten sick and I'm like, you're lucky.
Yeah. You're lucky to have me.
I don't care if I have to pay a little extra for travel.
I know. Actually, I had this question for you the other day and you kind of touched on it just now, but prior to a photo shoot, a big event, what would you be doing? And, I think most people are like, oh, I can't eat because I have to fit into this dress. But like, what are some of the things that you would do leading up to like a major event like that to kind of prep your body to look as lean, less bloated as possible?
Yes.
Like, what are your tips for that?
Okay, big tips, ladies.
Yeah.
Big tips. Red carpet ready.
Yeah.
So we take out all inflammatory foods.
Okay.
We're going to eat because you don't want to be hangry and you don't want to look haggard or, you want to look like you're full of chi, vibrant. We're just, you've got the je ne sais quoi. People who have the je ne sais quoi eat.
Yeah.
So I am a big fan of hydration. So most of the time we're thirsty. We're not hungry. So I'm a big fan of electrolytes, a lot of bone broths, because bone broths are just so healing for the gut and they just help the bloating. I definitely avoid gluten at all costs and dairy because they're binding and you don't want to feel it. I mean, that's the number one complaint. Everyone's just like, I'm bloated, I can't poop. I'm bloated, I can't poop, right? So we don't want that. But a good dieter's trick is to like low glycemic foods and steamed vegetables, bone broths, and lean proteins. Like fish is very easy to digest foods if you want to really look great, but hydration. And a model's tip is just to not eat after 6 o'clock. You eat, but after 6, let your body just rest and digest. And when you wake up, you feel more energy, the stomach's flat. Usually if you're eating enough fiber from all the fruits and vegetables, you have a nice bowel movement.
Yeah.
And you feel good.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I did like a little branding photo shoot with Paige. Shout out to Paige. And I was like, oh man, I should have prepped a little bit more. I was thinking like, oh, I should have had that, that thing, I always like a little, I like to throw in a little dairy when I'm feeling, frisky and I should not be doing that.
No dairy. It's very inflammatory. And the thing is like you look puffy.
Yeah.
Because systemic inflammation is a real thing. I've worked with so many women and we argue they just want to do more cardio. I go, you keep doing that cardio, but look, I know you I've worked with these women for 15 years. I go, I know your body so well. If you're going to be in bikini this weekend, don't eat the the pasta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just go for some steamed vegetables, a nice piece of fish. Even a sweet potato wouldn't hurt you. Get the healthy carb. And the order you eat the food is so important for glycemic load on the body. So I try to tell all my girls, eat the vegetable, the protein, and then the carb. And then, walk a little bit after your dinner. You're going to feel great, and your blood sugar will be regulated much better.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel fantastic. And you cannot keep weight on if you're just doing all the right things.
Yeah, if you're doing that. So vegetable, protein, then the carb. And you did tell me this years ago, take a walk after dinner. And I love doing that.
And Dr. Hong's a big fan of 100 steps. It's the ancient Chinese proverb, 100 steps after every meal.
Yeah. So Samantha was my gateway to Dr. Hong, who's my acupuncturist and her acupuncturist, and who is like she's just such an amazing human and like a very motherly character.
She's the best.
She's the best. She's the best. We love her. We love you, Dr. Hong, because I know maybe you'll be watching this on YouTube.
Yes, you will.
I don't know that she listens. I think she watches.
No,
yeah.
and there's this, and I really like it. All the studies are really showing that little bit of movement is way better than these hour-long sessions. Just keep moving, but there's time for rest. Like I was saying, we could go into hours and hours and tangent on this. I'm just trying to be very brief and concise. But just a little bit of movement. I try to tell my office people, if you get up and just do 10 squats every hour, that's it. That's not too much. Email break, on your way to the bathroom before you sit down on the toilet, do 10 squats. I know it's silly, but it works.
Yeah.
It helps your blood sugar. It helps your chi flow. It helps your mind. The stronger your muscles feel, you just feel more confident, and you have to be strong,
Yeah. In mind and body.
Yeah.
But why not throw it in? I'm all about that's what I love is give me the little tip that I can incorporate into my day. It doesn't have to be this life-changing thing. Just give me some little things that I can work on.
So how many times do we go to the bathroom a day? Pee and poop.
Pee and poop?
Yeah, just as girls sit.
Yeah.
So let's just say conservatively 5.
5.
All right.
Okay.
So that's 50 squats.
Yeah.
50 squats a day you're doing every day, or do a push-up against the wall.
Yeah.
Right before. It takes nothing, no time, 0 time.
Yeah, because I love people, want to be like, oh, I work so much, or I do. You can take these little breaks, maybe walking outside a minute, right?
Yeah.
Get some vitamin D and
Exactly.
do the squats outside. I don't know.
Yeah, and the psychology of exercising too. If you in your mind believe that those 10 squats are going to change your life, they will change your life. And a lot of times people are like, I'm not doing enough. That's your mental cage. That's not true. I mean, in your mind, if you believe those 10 push-ups and 10 squats, you will see a development change in your body because you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
It changes. It's funny because I laugh, personal training is like therapy session, but you see the mentality of somebody and it shifts so much when the mental shift happens and the body or the mind catch up to each other.
So talk about your, maybe a little bit of your morning routine and what you do with affirmations. And things. Yeah. Because I love that. And I need inspiration too.
My galactic routine. So this is how I start my day every day. And it's very important to me because it helps me center. And it might not be the same for everybody, but I take 16 ounces of warm water and I take my vitamins and then I get on my PEMF mat. I'm a big fan of PEMF, pulse electromagnetic. And what I do is I lay on there and I pray and I do I center myself for the day and I do my affirmations. And those affirmations are something that are significant to me, and that may change, and then I quiet my mind. And the PEMF is only 8 minutes, the program that I run. There's ones that run more, but it's 8 minutes, and no matter how crazy my life is, I try to do that. And it literally, I feel so good that I did the warm water, and sometimes I add lemon, and I always do my vitamins, and then I get on that mat, I pray, I do my affirmations, and I just try to center myself and try to manifest what I want to get out of that day. And not just that day, but my future. And that, for me, puts me in a very good centered state and a mood that I feel that I can handle things better.
Yeah.
And I love it. I look forward to it. And, sometimes you're lazy, you don't want to do it, but I've never felt bad doing it.
Yeah. And you're not really a morning person.
No,
so.
I'm a night owl and I could sleep until 10 every day.
But you get up and you make the time to do that. It's important.
Well, yes. And even if, I have a 4-year-old, it gets crazy. I tell her, Mommy has to beam her and pray, and she lets me do it. And it's so cute. And, and I used to not understand affirmations. I worked with this amazing hypnotherapist for emotional eating, and that's a whole other podcast. But and she would not work with me until I did the affirmations. I go, I feel so silly. I go, I just don't feel like this is how it's going to work. I'm here for getting hypnotized. She's like, oh no, you have to start programming your subconscious.
Yeah.
And I started to like it, and it started to work. And the more I get into this world, I realize you cannot not do it.
Yeah.
You have to speak things into existence. And you and I were talking at the workout yesterday. You can visualize, but speak it into existence. Champion mentality. No champion went out there saying, I'm not going to win. No, I'm going to freaking win.
Yeah. I'm doing this.
Yes.
I am this.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And the thing is, like Tony Robbins calls it incantations. You've got to say it with feeling in your body and the excitement in your cells.
Yeah.
And I would recommend anybody on a wellness fitness journey to start including that. And no matter how silly you feel or if you don't believe in it, say it till you believe it.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Now, okay, so I want a deeper question about the affirmations. Are you doing say, I am strong? Are you saying I am strong? Are you doing that every day for like a long time?
Yes.
Does it shift with the day, or how does it?
Well, I add on a lot. I add on to things that I feel are prevalent in my circumstances, but there are core ones I use. Like one of the ones that Louise Hay, I can't not say, and this is very popular. You can this is a mainstay. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good, and out of this situation, I am safe. And because life is going to throw you curveballs.
Yeah.
But you are safe and you are strong. And I say these things because I want to be ready, game ready.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great one. I know you love Louise Hay.
I love Louise Hay.
Louise
Wayne's
Hay.
Iron.
I know. We've talked about it on the podcast before too. And if you guys don't know anything about her, just Google
life-changing.
Life-changing.
And I do think you have to brainwash yourself. You brainwash yourself into excellence.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so that leads me into you train billionaires, CEOs, athletes, celebrities. What are some things, like some traits or some things that these people are doing that, and I know that you've soaked up so much of this over the years because you move with excellence and you move with that mentality. So, and I think that's in you as well. But what are can you tell us some things?
Well, I feel very fortunate that I've been surrounded by excellence. They say you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with, and you pick up good habits, and you hang out with excellence. It's gonna shake up on you.
Absolutely.
So a big thing, like I said, is that champion mentality, the will to win. And I always say this to all my clients: a no just means you're going to say yes later.
Yeah,
that's the attitude.
Yeah,
and you're around these power players who do not give up on themselves or their friends.
Yeah.
And they find solutions to problems no matter what the adversity. And talking about excellence, they take that into their bodies because they respect their bodies and they know to perform at a peak state, they have to, be in that zone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's perfect all the time. That's why we have hired help. We have mind coaches. We have therapists. We have psychiatrists. You have trainers like me. They hire people to help keep them in line. And you know what? I think is fascinating. All of these people don't think they're the expert in it. They all are very humble, and they all are constantly thriving for more knowledge, to learn more. To become better. And I love that. There is no ego when you're trying to become better.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if you think they're at the top, they're like, no, we're moving.
And if I don't have the answer, they go, find me someone who does. And I love that. I go, you're right. Let's try. Let's keep trying till we find the answer.
Yeah.
And I love that about, and it doesn't have to be high level people. It's a state of mind. It's just, it's a state of mind. And and there's people at all levels that have it. You know? And it's funny. You could just find it in, I had a plumbing fiasco, and this guy loved his job, and he was the best at it. And he tried so hard, and I love it. I go, that's champion mentality. I like it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to give up till we have the solution.
And I love that you identify that. You really do. You identify that in people.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that trait in you, that you want to be like, because I remember you telling me this about, I think, your water filter guy that came over.
Oh, hey, I'm going to give a shout out to you, Tim Wagner.
Oh,
You're
Tim
gonna get a lot of it.
Wagner.
Hey, I love him. He's Asian like me,
Oh my gosh.
He was so passionate about water. So it took me forever to pull the trigger on the whole house water filter. And I did. And I was shocked at how much chlorine I had in my house. I was like, he's like, that's 3 times the level of your pool. And he was so.
Wow, 3 times the level of the pool?
Yes. So
oh God.
he's like, you're like bathing in carcinogens.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, he was so passionate, so knowledgeable. I'm like, you're the water guy. And I love he was just on top of it, texting me, I'm 5 minutes away. How do you like your water? The customer service, the level was outstanding. And that's what I'm saying. He took pride in what he did, and he had a level of excellence with water.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to call him, I think, too. I have a filter, but I may need some, up-leveling.
He's the best at Culligan, Tim Wagner.
Tim Wagner at Culligan.
So great.
I love this. I love this so much. No, that's amazing. So for anyone listening, it's like, stop the victim mentality.
Yeah.
Get out there, be a freaking champion.
Yes. And it's
in whatever you do.
And just up level, if it's one step. And I was thinking, when you're like, gave me bullet points to talk about, I'll tell you this, really shift your environment. If you want to eat healthy, hang out with friends who eat healthy.
Yeah.
If you want to exercise, exercise with people who want to exercise, not your friend that just wants to sit on the couch. Like, start surrounding yourself with up-leveled people, and they're all around.
Yeah.
And you'll start picking up good habits. And I really recommend people clean up their social media. Don't put anything in it that doesn't up-level you. If it makes you feel bad or it makes you waste your time and it doesn't add to your bucket of wellness, you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's wasted time.
Wasted time. And I think to that point is, yes, we may feel like we have to follow certain people, right? Like friends or neighbors or somebody like that. I feel like it's tough to get out of.
Yeah.
But sometimes those people are not great people to be viewing what they're doing. Whether it makes you feel a certain way or you just not aligning with what they're doing, hit the mute button.
Yes, and that's okay. I mean, that's okay.
Okay.
I mean, I just do believe that if you want to feel good, do the things that make you feel good. If it dampers your chi and vibration in any way, you have to pivot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a time and a place for friendships and supporting everybody, but there's a time and a place when you look in the mirror and you go to sleep and you're like, hey, I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good and I feel like I'm contributing, and it goes hand in hand. And I just do believe that we've got to clear the clutter, which Kimberly Hand has helped me with the clutter in my house. It drives me crazy, the feng shui. But I think that's important to feng shui our social media.
Yeah.
And really pay attention to your energy.
Yeah.
Who brings you up? Stay away from energy vampires. Who uplifts you? Who makes you feel like sunshine?
You make me feel like sunshine.
You too.
Sam.
We just love each other. It's a love fest.
I know, it is a love fest. I get people in here. I just love them up.
I love you too.
No, that's so good. Okay, what are some things to absolutely avoid in life? We kind of touch on this in health.
In health.
What do we need to stay away from?
Okay. I know it sounds like, I always say gluten. It's like, I don't have a gluten allergy.
Yeah.
It's full of glyphosate. Hello, people. We've got to start digging in. And I have to reiterate this to people who don't believe in it. Gluten and Roundup is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. I'm not making this up. This isn't health food woo-woo. It is toxic, whether you have a gluten allergy or not. Gluten. People who eat gluten don't have the best digestive tracts. You block absorption. It's extremely inflammatory. If one thing you can do is just avoid that, and talk about weight loss, everything that's packaged has gluten in it.
Yeah.
And look at your little sauces too. Wheat is a thing. And I tell everyone, if you can just do one thing, avoid the gluten.
Avoid the gluten.
Just,
yeah.
It really affects you differently. And I just work with so many people, and I can tell when they had gluten the day before.
Oh, you're like, I see it.
Puffy.
Puffy.
No, and I do that with love. I'm just trying to be real and help your listener.
Yeah.
I mean, these are real things. It's not hard. In this day and age, you have so many alternatives. You know, people just have to get used to saying no. And another thing I want people to know is get used to being hungry. It's not that bad to go to sleep hungry. You're not going to die. No one's dying of starvation. You're like, I have to no, you don't have to have it. You know, we've just become accustomed to filling, and that gluten, again, is so bad for you.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things I want to say. I would tell everybody, I don't care if you're celiac or not, avoid it.
Yeah.
It is inflammatory. It gums you up. You will not have a great bowel movement. It makes you puffy.
Stay away.
Stay away.
I would say that's one of the best things I've done.
Because it's just the toxic load on your liver too,
Yeah.
because it's trying to, process. I think this is true, but I think they spray wheat with Roundup for it to not get moldy. I think I read that or heard that somewhere, and don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's a heavily sprayed crop.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just danger. That's just danger zone.
And gluten tastes very good.
Yeah.
It makes pizza much better and the buns much better.
Yeah.
So you get addicted to it.
Yeah. But I think when you have not, you and I both gluten-free, when you don't have it for a long time, it's like, I don't miss it.
No.
I mean, there's great gluten-free bread. What's the bread we like? We like it's a Canyon Northern Bakehouse.
Northern Bakehouse. It's egg and gluten-free. It's
yes, because
awesome.
we don't do the eggs
Yes.
either. So egg and gluten-free, which it's actually hard to find gluten-free bread without the egg.
Yes, and I think it tastes
realized.
fantastic. My daughter loves it, doesn't know the difference.
Yeah.
She loves the taste of gluten too. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're kids,
Yeah.
like David does too, which I realized that he likes the bread, like I don't even know what it's called, to be honest, of their line, but he doesn't like the one with the seeds in it. Yeah. And I discovered that last night. He's like, Mom, you got to take the seeds out.
Sprouted
like,
green one. I love that one.
Me too. He's like, there's a lot of seeds in there, Mom. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. He's just scared of seeds. So we didn't do that one, but,
no, it's great.
Yeah,
it's great. And
it's a good rec.
And for people who are really trying to switch, Sprouts, I would say, has an amazing selection of gluten-free. It really does. I try to spend a lot of time at the grocery store researching for clients and kind of see, I taste test things for them, because it's very hard to go on the standard American diet, and kind of switch to health. If you're kind of nervous, you're scared. So I try to find transitionary foods for them to make big steps. Going gluten-free is huge for a lot of people. And then finding dairy-free options. They're making them so good now. You can hardly tell.
Yeah, there are. And I think Sprouts has a lot of great brands.
Yes.
I would say over and above Whole Foods, over and above Fresh Market.
Yeah,
I think Sprouts is doing it.
They curate well.
They do. So we are always like, oh, we found this or we found that.
Yeah, I found great gluten-free pizza crusts and egg-free.
Oh yeah.
So
I gotta try that. I still haven't tried that.
Yeah, but again, I'm not trying to, take away fun foods. You just got to make them better for you.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to touch on this, but I feel like I do want to touch on it a little bit, is that you were such a big supporter of me not drinking alcohol.
Okay, let's talk about the alcohol.
Let's talk about the alcohol.
You're talking to an ex-bartender, so.
Yeah. And hey, Tequila Kim used to dance on the bar, and dance on tables. And
yeah, so let's talk about alcohol.
Yeah.
Is there a healthy relationship with alcohol? I think some people do not have a healthy relationship with alcohol. It doesn't elevate their chi, and most of the people I work with have an unhealthy relationship because they always don't feel good after. Again, we're trying to up-level ourselves and not do things that don't make us elevated in some way. And if you have a relationship with alcohol that is bringing you down and you're depressed the next day, you're going to lay on the couch all day and just watch Netflix, is that a relationship you want to have? Are you so hungover that you can't enjoy the sunshine with your child? These are things, and especially if you're struggling with weight loss, it turns right to sugar in your body. So that's his or own choice, but I would say for the most people, it doesn't bring them to that peak state that they're looking for.
The peak state.
It's peak state.
It's so true. And it's like, when you look at it like that, is it bringing you, so just ask yourself this question, is it bringing you to peak state or not?
Yes.
With anything.
Yes.
With a person, a relationship, an outfit, something you have in your house, a food, a drink.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, I mean, I've worked with so many clients, like I had one too many last night, and they still show up, which is great, but I go, you just know, I can't undo that.
Yeah.
I can't undo that, but you just got to do what's right for you and what puts you in your peak state. And some people, I would say, they create so much anxiety the next day.
Yeah.
And they're very honest with me in a training session. Like I said, it's a therapy session. Like,
Absolutely.
did I say something weird last night?
Yes.
Was I like too flirty? Like, like I wouldn't want to be crippled with that the next day.
No. And I was like that. I was like that when I was drinking. I'd wake up and I'd be like, like I know I had, like, it felt fun in the moment, but like what actually happened? Then you're trying to recount everything. It's like this whole mind thing.
Yeah. And like I would say, like a lot of people are like, no, I'm not going to give up my glass of wine, and that's fine. But like, and maybe that's where you are. I'll meet you where you are. But I just say most people need to refrain to be in their peak state. And if you need to lose weight, people, it's the alcohol. If you're doing everything right, it's extremely inflammatory, hard on your liver, makes your skin look like shit.
Yes.
And it ages you rapidly. People who drink and people who don't drink look very different.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I'm just honest. I mean, you could do it. I don't judge. I don't care. I'm just telling you for my professional advice.
Yeah.
If you need to be red carpet ready.
Yeah.
And you want to glow, that's not going to, up level you.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you told me that for a long time and I was still drinking. And I think, I was justifying too, like, I can have one, or I can, I just drink once a week, or, whatever it is. I was explaining it away. And then when you really think about it, and if you've done a lot of work inside and trying to work on your outside, your appearance and everything, I think it's one of the pieces of the puzzle that we all have to acknowledge is not getting you to where you want to be.
I can't be low vibes. I'm too tired. I don't want anything that's going to make me feel worse.
Yeah.
I need to feel good.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way I feel with a hangover.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. I'm the same.
So,
okay. I want to know, because, we're talking about a lot of things not to do, but, we had this conversation like a while back and we were like, what is the most toxic thing that you do?
I'm doing it right now on the podcast.
What do you mean? Why is it toxic?
I'm drinking out of single-use plastic, people. I love plastic.
Single-use plastic.
I love single-use plastics.
She does
so bad. I try.
You love a bottled water.
I don't know why I drink more out of it. And I've bought in every glass. I've bought in every, what are they called? Yetis or whatever what are those things called?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't drink enough water, but I'm trying. I actually drink way more out of glass now, and I'm just going to have to order out of glass bottles.
Yeah. And actually it's so funny because you have your own glass bottles with beautiful silicone sleeves. And actually I was going to bring mine today, but of course I forgot my workout clothes and I forgot my waters, but, she has these glass bottles. That's what I try and, drink out of. Yes, I have the Stanley cup, but like, I'm trying to do the glass, and it's so much better. Yeah. It really is so much better.
And I have that nice water filter from Tim Wagner.
Culligan.
No, but I am going to, this is my big goal, is to reduce the plastics. There's nothing good in it.
Yeah. Okay. My toxic, I was thinking about this on the way here. I cannot give up. So bad.
What? You didn't tell me before.
It's so bad. I think maybe I told you. I feel like I've transitioned so many of my like cleaning products to like natural cleaning products. I cannot give up the Dawn Power Shot.
Oh, you have
the dishwashing soap.
Yeah, it works that good.
It works that good. It's the whole mechanism of it. So I actually tried to take, and I know this sounds crazy, but it's the one that you just spray it with like your trigger finger, you know? And so it's that whole mechanism that like works really well. I've tried to refill it with like natural soap. It does not work the same.
Well, let me tell you some little validation from my wise aunt. She laughs at me when she comes visit. She's like, you with all your natural products, you're using a bottle and all this water. You're actually doing worse for the environment because you're wasting, like I'm using like a whole bottle of natural soap.
Oh,
and then it's,
right.
And then it's like clogging the pipes. And then I'm using all this water because I can't scrub it off.
Yes.
So I wouldn't like beat yourself up over that. But I was like, you're right. It's like, why am I like, I try so hard. She's right. I'm like, I'm actually doing worse for the environment. So hopefully, Dawn, you will find a healthier.
I know.
Maybe without the dye, at least.
Well, I do the free. They do have like a free and clear one.
That's power spray?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
But they do have like one is like apple scent, and I'm like, I know that apple scent is so terrible, but I love it.
I know it's
I love
bad.
the apple scent.
I love. Sometimes you love chemicals, people. I can't help it.
I know
They work.
But I do notice the more I like cut down on all of that stuff in the house, that if I do smell something, I'm like, oh, whoa, that's
Headaches.
really intense. Yeah.
So again, it's the yin and the yang. It's balance. Gee, like we do our best, but give yourself some grace if you can't. Like I'm not really mad at myself over the single-use plastic. I joke that I could do better, and I'm talking myself into it. And it's like with the things, like we're doing the things that we can, and we're conscious, and that's. I think the best thing of all is the consciousness of it. You're like, I'm starting to notice like I should start to switch. And then you're on the hunt, and then maybe you'll find something better.
Yes. Sam, you're such an expander for me. I love it.
I know you can't give everything up, but we're doing our best. Again, I'm not going to beat myself up, and I don't beat my clients up. So what, you had gluten, but we're going to try not to do that tomorrow.
Yes. We're going to try.
It's like we got to live, but it's just bringing awareness to where we can improve. And those little improvements, they add up, they string along, and they make drastic changes over time.
Yeah. I think, people want to be like, oh, you're depriving, or you're not allowing yourself to do this. I'm like, no, I am making this choice to be the like highest and best version of myself. And it doesn't feel like deprivation.
It doesn't feel like deprivation to me.
No.
To feel good, no. And to look good, no.
No.
I like it.
I like it.
I don't feel deprived. I don't feel deprived. I don't.
Disciplined. I would say
discipline. Discipline feels good. It's confidence.
Yeah. Discipline is like champion mindset.
Yes. You got to make practice to win the championship.
That's right.
I can't wish it there.
That's right. Manifest that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is the cinnamon effect, I have to ask you, cinnamon is my metaphor for life. What makes life better, sweeter, healthier, more fulfilling? What is the cinnamon that you add to your life, Sam?
That's a tough one. What is the cinnamon I add to my life? It would probably be, Ross always tells me, like, put your name on it. Like, put your name on it. Yeah. Are you proud of what you do? Yeah. Are you proud to say that you did that? And I take that philosophy in my head all the time. It's like, did I put that back where I'd be proud of it? Or that would be my cinnamon effect, is when someone looks back that Sam did that. You could tell. You can tell it's Sam finished. Like whether that's my nails or the way I arrange my clothes in my closets, how I prepare my food, the presentation, how the way I make someone feel. Did I put my name on it?
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you, Ross.
Shout out to Ross. Hey, Ross.
Yeah, but he's like, put your name on it. Put your name on it. And it's right. It's like you want to know that that's your style. That's the way you left it.
Yeah. Well, I can say as a friend that you make your mark on the people that you're around.
Thank you.
And so you do put your name on it. You put your name on that positive energy. And
sometimes they don't want to hear it, but I still got to do it.
No, you do. You do. It's always with love and positivity. And so I love that about you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're here. And thank you for sharing your light with us. Thank you for listening to The Cinnamon Effect. If you like this episode, please rate, review, and share it with someone you love. Oh, Sam, how do we find you?
SamanthaMonus.com.
Okay.
And at Samantha Monus on Instagram.
Okay, perfect. Check her out.